Hello everybody, welcome to Speed Gaming. This is the 2026 No Logic Tournament featuring our runners Muffins and Vinter today. I am Skelly. Hope everyone's having a nice day. We should be getting started pretty soon here. The special mode where anything can be placed literally anywhere. Items can normally be found like in places where, following normal logic, like we would never be able to get them. Like our hook shot could be in the back of Swamp Palace or crazy stuff like that. But to make the seed beatable, we allow the runners to do basically any glitch in the game except for a very short list of the most powerful glitches. So we'll see both players doing a lot of crazy stuff, I'm sure. So I believe this is game one between both of our runners. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. And we see both players are starting at the at different starting locations, which is always fun to see. I think typically in No Logic we see most people opt for one of two different opening routes. You either start with this clip to Hobo that we see Vinter doing, or on Muffin's side we're seeing Bonk Rocks and probably either instantly going up the mountain right away, or perhaps going to Lost Woods first and then going up the mountain. I think almost everybody does one of these two things to start. And generally, whichever one you do, you typically do the other one right after anyway. So that's what I would expect to see, but you never know. There's a lot of options. So Vinter is going to do a swim clip here. The inputs for this are a little bit awkward, but he gets it pretty quickly. And he's going to swim directly into the cracked wall that normally leads to Ice Rod Cave. But because he's in the wall, he can just swim in without opening the door, which is cool. And then bonking into the chest, because he's actually water walking in this cave, flashes him and gets him back to the entrance even faster. And yeah, now Vinter's got a water walk armed. He's going to head to Zora next while we see Muffins check Lumberjack, and he's going to do DMA, which will take him up the mountain so he can rescue Old Man. Rescuing Old Man is super useful. The mountain is kind of like the hub of everywhere in No Logic. You can get to so many places from the mountain that the sooner you unlock the save quit point, the better, usually. And I don't think we saw anything useful on Lumberjack Ledge, which is good. Now, Vinter doesn't have enough money for Zora. That's fine. Zora is really bad in No Logic because money is so important that even if he did have the money, like if he had already found 600 rupees, he probably wouldn't have actually gotten it, would be my guess. It's a location that in No Logic is often just ignored completely. money is just really important for buying potions and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks like Vinter's going to go for this blue boomerang that he saw on the island earlier. Boomerangs are pretty useful. There's not that much glitchy stuff you can do with them, but they can be useful if we find a kit for hook pushing. And otherwise, like, they're just kind of nice to have for defense and all that. Muffins is trying to glitch to Graveyard Ledge next. That one's really annoying because the boulders are constantly raining on your head while you're trying to clip in precisely, but he gets it without dying. And now Muffins is probably going to... Looks like he's going to farm a couple more bombs here. And then he's probably going to do a Houlihan to get even more money. That would be my guess. Although he already did get the 300 here, which is nice. So maybe he could skip the Houlihan, but I think he's going to go for it anyway. Yep, so because of the clip that Muffins did to get to Graveyard Ledge, his camera's a little bit messed up, so by falling down this hole, he actually Houlihans and gets another 225 rupees. And like I said earlier, we're kind of seeing both runners switch into the opposite runner's route. So they're just kind of retracing each other's steps. Muffins actually will have the option to buy Zora if he really wants to. Oh, he's actually going to get the boomerang first. So maybe he won't continue with the route that Vinter did earlier. We'll see. So really haven't found anything that important yet. The Eastern Big Key is potentially nice. It makes beating Eastern a lot easier. Oh, and there's our first bottle in Hera. Bottles are super important, maybe the most important item in No Logic, since they allow us to do stuff like YBAs and Stairmaster. Both runners getting it at about the same time. So that's our first real, like, glitching item that we can use to really break the game. And Muffins is heading to East Death Mountain next. Well, Vinter still has to rescue Old Man, and then he can decide what he wants to do. East Death Mountain is good. It has a lot of density, with Paradox Cave having 7 items, Floating Island has an item, Spiral Cave has an item. Spiral Cave is really annoying, though, when you don't have a sword. This is actually a little bit dangerous for Muffins. Like, he's already almost dead, but this is really difficult when you can't protect yourself from the Moldorms and the berries, and takes an unfortunate death there. We'll see if he wants to go back right away or if he just does something else. Yeah, it's really tough to do Spiral Cave with no sword, or like if you had a hook shot or anything to kill stuff would help. The boomerang is unfortunately useless on all the enemies that are in there, so that doesn't do anything. Yeah, it looks like Muffins is just going to go back and try again. Or maybe he skips Spiral and just does Paradox instead. That's another option. Okay, yeah, looks like Muffins is just not going to do Spiral. He's probably just going to say, that's dead to me forever. I already messed it up. The nice thing with No Logic is that because Go mode is so flexible, any given location in the game can probably be skipped. Like, there might be something useful in Spiral Cave, but like it's very unlikely that there's anything in there that he 100% needs to beat the game. And here's our first look at CAC. People like to put off CAC for a really long time in no logic. And for good reason. Like it's nice if you have a bottle first so you can do sick hit, or if you find the flute. But I think the main reason to put off CAC is actually to make... Oh my god, Muffins died again, no. He's gonna orphan another item here on East Mountain. I think the real reason to delay CAC is because it routes very nicely into Desert Palace. But you don't really want to go to Desert Palace right away. Having a bottle is really nice, so if Vinter continues the route from CAC into Desert, he can like do a YBA into Thieves Town, which will save a lot of time in the long run. So that's typically when I'm in this situation, that's what I go for, but see what he decides to do. And we see a Desert Palace map. I know we saw the Eastern map earlier. I didn't catch what the prize actually was. I think Vinter looked, but he did it so fast I didn't see what it was. Maps are super important. I think of all the ways people play Key Sanity and Randomizer, No Logic is the mode that has the fastest like finish times, which kind of makes maps more important than in any other mode, I would say. You really want to know what the actual pendants and crystals are, because that can have a big impact on what your go mode ends up being. Desert and Eastern are like, it's nice to know what those prizes are, but they're not that important because those aren't terribly difficult dungeons to beat. But like if we find a Turtle Rock map or a Swamp map, or Misery Mire map especially, those are really, really nice to have, because you want to know if you have to do those dungeons or not. Vinter goes ahead and buys a red potion here. So again, I would expect he's going to use that in Desert, but we'll see. And we also found a Quake in, I think that was the Tavern. We don't know what the Mire Medallion is, and we probably won't know for a while, but if Mire is a crystal, having the Mire Medallion is extremely useful. It's very hard to beat Mire without having the medallion. So hopefully the medallion is Quake, or whatever the medallion is, it's somewhere we can find it. Because medallionless Mire is super duper slow and very complicated. And so Vinter has the desert map. I think the cropping is a little bit off. You can barely see, like, there is a letter on his screen, but we can't actually see what it is. So he knows if it's a pendant or a crystal, but we don't. We'll probably see on Muffins' side. Okay, so Vinter is going to go for the YBA here into Thieves Town. We'll see if he gets it. He's trying to drink the red potion on the same frame as doing the screen transition here. And he gets it. Nicely done. So this is one of the more useful YBAs to do in the game because it takes you directly to the top of Thieves Town. And the reason this is so good is because you can open the Thieves Town attic now, so that when you go to Thieves Town later, you don't have to do this. And the way that we usually go to Thieves Town in No Logic is by doing another YBA from Uncle, which takes you directly to the Maiden Cell. So having the attic open already actually saves a pretty enormous amount of time when you end up doing Thieves Town later. Because if the attic isn't open, when you YBA into Thieves Town and you're in the basement, you actually need to go upstairs and blow up the attic first and then come back and get the maiden because she won't follow you upstairs. And it's like I think something like a 2-minute time loss. Plus, it's also nice doing this YBA into the attic because then you can just do the bomb clip to get to Right Side Desert, which we see from Vinter here. So now he can get these 2 items without needing the Desert Small Key or doing any other fancy tricks. And is he going to save quit or Death Warp? Looks like save quit. Okay. I think either is fine. Death Warp is nice if you want to do like Cave 45 in Agina while you're there. But Desert is a crystal, which we see on Muffin's side. So Vinter knows he has to come back to Desert eventually anyway. So I think saving and quitting makes sense, because you can just do Agina and Cave 45 when you come back for Landmo. So Vinter's going to go for Spiral Cave here. We didn't get to see what this item was, since Muffins died in here. Vinter's equipment's not that much better, but he can use the cape and just run through all this. Which is really nice, actually. I don't know where he got his full magic. I think maybe an enemy dropped it somewhere. Yeah, Muffins is killing everything in here. I'm not really sure why. I guess he wanted to leave, but of course, in glitch modes, we're doing this backwards, so that opens the wrong door. So he is going to Death Warp. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, but I don't think we saw anything big in Spiral Cave, so that's good for Muffins. And this middle chest here in Paradox is another thing that Muffins wasn't able to get, because he got very thoroughly bullied by these mini Moldorms. Vinter, his situation's also a little bit scary here. Oh, oh my god. Oh my god, the Moldorms of this seed have been crazy. I think Vinter's okay. Oh my god, it's the hammer! Oh no. So sad. I mean, the hammer is not as important in No Logic as it is in other modes, but it's definitely very nice to have. It would be a lot nicer if we had like a glove in the Moon Pearl. We could just do like normal Dark World stuff. But I have a feeling we're never, ever going to see that item from Muffins. And there's our Desert Small Key. We've already done Right Side Desert, so that key is not super useful, but in theory, it could be helpful later if we do like a YBA from Desert to Mire or something, and we want to use that key in a different dungeon. Or actually, it can be nice to open that locked door in the front of Desert for other reasons too. You can use that door to get to Swamp Palace and stuff, so that key might end up being helpful, it might not. We'll see. This is our first look at Mini Moldorm Cave from Vinter. Doesn't have a ton of bombs to work with here, and getting through the cave is one thing, but ideally we have some bombs left over because we want to do a bomb juke from Mini Moldorm Cave into King's Tomb. He's got enough bombs that he should be able to do it. Funny thing with Mini Moldorm Cave and No Logic is that it basically has 6 items instead of 5. We kind of just pretend that King's Tomb is part of it. We did see an Ice Rod and a Glove in here. Those are both really nice. This is Vinter's last bomb, so he has to make this count, and he gets it. Nicely done. Okay. So he opened up the chest in King's Tomb and got the map of Misery Mire. It's nice that that item had a text box, because otherwise we wouldn't know what it was because it was invisible, but the Mire map is really nice to have. Muffins is going to check Zora because he is loaded. This could be a potential advantage for Muffins, who's kind of... I don't know if behind is the right word, but he's in a disadvantageous position for sure, missing that hammer. Oh, the stun prize is 8 bombs. That's actually super nice. Especially having the boomerang already. That basically means bombs are like infinite for the rest of the game. Now Vinter's doing a door juke to the pyramid. This one's pretty tough because it's an auto door, so you need to get hurt by the bomb at a very specific timing to juke the door. But he gets it. So this takes him to pyramid. He can check pyramid ledge, and from here he can either he could just save quit, or he could actually stay on the overworld, do a screen transition, and then do front of escape. He's not actually in the dark world right now. He's in the fake dark world because he never entered the real dark world. So a screen transition will put him at Hyrule Castle basically, and he can go to he can just do front of escape or something. If he had a potion, he could go to Thieves Town, but I don't think he has a potion, and I also don't necessarily know he would want to go to Thieves Town right now. We really haven't found much to work with yet in this seed. The one bottle is really the only significant item we've seen, at least for right now. The hammer will eventually be useful, and I guess the glove is kind of useful, but they don't let us do much in the short term. Muffins is going for the door juke here. He's going to select buffer it. This is another good way to do this trick. I think Vinter did the... I think he did sword out movement without buffering, which is another common approach to doing this. And Muffins is through. Nicely done. The whole point of that trick is you use the bomb to basically go through the screen transition without triggering it. So you kind of sneak back into the room to the south where the mini Moldorms were without the game actually transitioning, and then from that room you do a north transition, and that's how you get to King's Tomb. There's a pod big key. Pod big key in front of escape is kind of funny, because I think one of the reasons why Vinter is even here is because he doesn't have a big key that can open things in cave state yet. Or at least he didn't. There are 4 big keys in the game that let you open things when you're in cave state. And one of them is the Hyrule Castle big key. So going to front of escape is a guaranteed way to get a cave state big key. But funnily enough, one of those other keys is the pod big key, so that was also here. So he basically just got 2 cave state big keys at the same time. Now we're both of them are saving quitting to the mountain. Let's see what is happening now. I think Vinter is going to go to pod. Muffins might also be going to pod. There's a map check, so both Eastern and Desert are crystals. Muffins is going to the Dark World. Interesting. I think that was also crystals and Skull and Mire. I'm not 100% sure though. Oh, Muffins is gonna go to GT? Interesting. Okay. Wasn't expecting this. So, Muffins is a bunny, if you can't tell. Since he plays with the Dark Link sprite, the bunny for Dark Link looks like normal Link. But by doing some very specific movements, he's able to clip into GT, and now he's gonna die, become real Link. I'm a little bit surprised he came here because he can't do very much. He can do Hope Room, he can get the torch, and I think there's a bomb juke to get to Stalfos Room? I don't remember how to do it, but I think he knows. So maybe that's the plan here. Meanwhile, we see Vinter is in pod. Yeah, okay, so Muffins is going for the bomb juke here. Or the door juke, whatever you call it. So this should take him to Stalfos Room. There we go. So he is in the room with the pits right now, and he's hovering. It's really hard to tell just looking at him, but he is hovering. And now entering Stalfos Room, and there are 4 chests in here, and we're not going to know what he's getting unless there's a text box. Okay, we're 2 for 2 in text boxes. That's great. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Maybe we can find out. Vinter finds a second bottle. At last, we have another glitching item. So did Vinter actually do Dark Maze? I think he might have skipped it, unless I missed it. Maybe I was too busy watching Muffins. Auto tracking says it was nothing. Thank you, Holy Smoke, our tracker. We see Green Pendant is going to be in Swamp today, and Vinter has just found the mirror in Pod, which is a really nice item to have. Looks like he's going to juke to Hookshot Cave next. We're seeing a lot of door jukes between the two of them so far. This is very similar to the one that he did from Back Escape to get to the pyramid. I mean, it's basically the same thing. It's tricky because it's an auto door. What is this for Muffins? I've never seen that before. That's cool. Just a little teleport to speed up the overworld screen, I guess. When coming from Saha, makes sense. So the point of that juke that Vinter did is once he gets back to where the map chest was and he goes back through the door that he juked the first time, it's going to take him to the Hookshot Cave. And then I don't know off the top of my head if Vinter can hover or not, but if he can hover, that's 4 items. If he can't, it's 1 item, but also it's an easy way to get to the Super Bunny Cave, which is nice. And then maybe we do something like go to GT afterwards. That's a decent option. Muffins found a bow somewhere. I don't know where that was. This is why they pay me the big bucks, you guys. Did he have that before he came to Eastern, or did he find it in Eastern? Or actually, it might have been at like Saha or something. I don't know. But he has a bow, and that's great. And he has the Eastern Big Key, so he can just beat this like it's not even no logic. Which makes a lot of sense. It is a crystal. Okay, Muffin's gonna go straight to the boss here. So, you might be wondering why he's not doing Big Key Chest yet. I assume it's because he wants to do it the fast way. After he beats the boss, which is with another door juke. And it makes sense to do that after the boss because you can't really continue the route if you're getting Big Key Chest that way, so he wants to get his crystal, warp to the front, and then he's got like nothing else to do here, so he's free to just save quit after getting big key chest. And assuming the juke goes well, it will save a pretty decent chunk of time compared to just doing big key chest the normal way on the way to Armos. Vinter did buy a red potion at the store here, so he's going to go to GT shortly. And his plan all along was to re-enter this room so that he could go to GT, so that's why he didn't bother getting the chest until now, because now the camera works correctly. It just made more sense to do it now. And he got his flippers. Flippers are really nice for Swamp Palace. So now Vinter's going to do a Super Tile YBA to get to GT. This route from Hookshot Cave to GT is pretty cool because you actually have two different options. You can do either a Super Tile or a Sub-Tile YBA, and they have different implications because the Super Tile YBA will basically despawn all the sprites. That's what Vinter's opted for here, because he doesn't have a good way to kill Armos. I mean, he practically has no realistic way of killing Armos without it taking like 3 minutes, so much better to just despawn it. It does mean if he wants the sprites to be respawned, he'll have to exit the dungeon and then go back in the entrance, which is fine. Maybe he doesn't even want the sprites to come back. I think he probably does, because with the hammer he can go like full left all the way to Rando Room. Okay, and now there's like a weird like sprite desync thing going on here, so pay attention to Vinter's screen as he makes the next screen transition. Look toward the bottom right and we can see what item is on the torch. Because it's not actually going to appear on the torch right now. It's a heart container, so if he was paying attention, he knows this is a heart container. If he's going to go full left anyway and wants to respawn the sprites, then that knowledge isn't really helpful because he should just be coming back into the room with the sprites loaded anyway, but it's nice to know that there is a way to see that when these sprites aren't loaded. Okay, he's actually just going to go left right away. But I think the issue he's going to run into here is that there's no crystal switch, so he can't actually go to Rando Room. So maybe he's just going to save and quit from here, because otherwise if he wants to go to Rando Room, he needs to backtrack to the entrance of GT. Oh, there's the bow. Okay, that's why we didn't see it from Muffins, because it was invisible. Oh yeah, Vinter can still do map chest, at least. And now, okay. I think he didn't realize that he was going to run into this problem. And now he knows what he would have to do to continue, and he's just like, whatever, I'm just going to save quick, 'cause it's going to take too long at this point to backtrack through all these rooms. Muffins is using Ice Rod strats to kill the ball and chain guard here. It's always fun to see. Picking up a frozen dude and throwing it at somebody does tempered sword damage, which is actually pretty strong. Especially when you have no sword. Now Vinter is going back into pod. And Muffins is going, I think, to pod. Okay, Vinter's just gonna fight the boss. So this is a trick called statue drag. It's really hard to explain. To be honest, I don't fully even understand how this works, but the point is you can interrupt pulling a statue by using the mirror. And then it's like the next time you press A, you're like pulling an invisible statue. And you can use that to do a door juke. Oh, I think he might have just messed up. Yeah. You can pull the invisible statue to do a door juke and then take some weird screen transitions and you end up at Helmasaur. So this is a way you can get to Helmasaur with basically no items. He's using the mirror, which makes it faster, but you don't actually need the mirror. This is a way to do it without, but it's a lot slower. I don't know if he knows this is a crystal or not. He might just be doing it just to do it. Because he has the mirror now and it's not really going to get faster. Even if you have like full equipment, I'm pretty sure this is the fastest way to get to Helmasaur. So it's a really powerful glitch in this mode. And now we're in the Helmasaur arena. Doesn't look like it yet, but here we are. He's using bombs, which he doesn't need to do. He has the hammer, but sometimes it's nice to throw bombs first and then just quick swap to hammer while they're blowing up. I do that a lot. Muffins is doing Dark Maze. Oh, it is a pendant. Alright. So we didn't really need to do this. Oh, okay, the Fire Rod is in Dark Maze. I thought we saw Vinter skip this earlier, and I didn't believe in myself. Because it doesn't really make sense to skip it, so I'm not sure why that happened, and maybe he's going to go back for it now. But usually when people do Cave State Pod, they do the route that Muffins is doing, where you just immediately hammer jump and go through Dark Maze, and then do all the other stuff in the back. Vinter, for some reason, just skipped it. Oh, he's actually going to go to Hera. Okay, that's actually really big for Muffins. I don't know if Vinter is ever going to go back for Dark Maze. I don't know why you would at this point. I'm not even sure, like, does he know that he skipped it? It seems like a weird thing to skip. But that Fire Rod is potentially a big deal, because it might end up being Vinter's Go mode. And there is a second Fire Rod in the pool. There's a Moonpearl and Hera. I didn't mention this, but for anyone unfamiliar, No Logic is played with a slightly modified item pool, where there's 2 Fire Rods and 2 Ice Rods. The primary reason for that is it's a lot less likely to have an unbeatable seed if there are 2 pairs of rods. It goes from like a 1% chance of being unbeatable to, I don't know, probably like a 0.001% chance or something like that. So there is a second Fire Rod that Vinter could find. But that could be a really big deal. It's a lot more important than the hammer that Muffins missed out on, that's for sure. Yeah, I guess maybe he skipped Dark Maze just because it's annoying to navigate in the dark. That's true. That could be why. We don't necessarily need the Fire Rod. We don't know that Turtle Rock is a crystal yet. We've seen 2 pendants. We know Swamp and Pot are pendants. Turtle Rock could be a pendant. But even if Turtle Rock is a pendant, we do need a fire source for Ganon, which could be a lamp. And even if Turtle Rock is a pendant, that would imply that Ice Palace is a crystal, and we need a fire source for Ice Palace, which could be Bombos. So, like, in theory, Vinter might not need a Fire Rod, but he probably does. And even if he doesn't, he's going to need several other things instead. So Muffins is showing us the other way you can do statue drag when you don't have a mirror. This is quite a bit slower. Basically, instead of using the mirror when you push the statue, you have to drag the statue into a staircase and then get hit by the anti-fairy in the next room, and then you have to do all this nonsense where he has to walk out of the dungeon and walk back in, because otherwise something breaks. Don't ask me to explain why it breaks, but it does. So that whole excursion that Muffins had to do where he walked downstairs and then back upstairs and then back out the dungeon into here, that's like the cost of doing this without having the mirror. So it's like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. Yeah, Muffins has no hammer, so he's gonna have to fight the boss with only bombs for phase 1, which is fine because he has 18 bombs. He bought 2 bomb upgrades earlier. But if you didn't have those bomb upgrades, then this is actually kind of tricky because you need to use bombs just to get here, and then you need to use at least 5 if you do this part perfectly, just to break the mask. Getting the bomb upgrades early is a really nice investment in no logic, just because bombs are so useful for all sorts of stuff. Door jukes, Helmasaur, hook pushing if we ever find a hook shot. It makes a surprisingly big difference when you can have more than 10 bombs maximum. Like, even just going to 15 is super helpful, I think. 20 is amazing. Okay, so Vinter's finishing off Eastern, just like Muffins earlier. He's just doing this like the normal glitchless way. No, he's not. He's going somewhere. Is he going to Mire? What are we doing? I guess we're going to Mire. Okay, never mind. I thought he was going to beat Eastern, but instead he's going to go to Misery Mire with a YBA. He tricked me. Also, I didn't mention it, but Muffin's got a very nice hover to right side pod. It's a super difficult hover to do, but it's a very nice time save. It's actually even stronger in no logic than it is in normal modes, because if you're doing this bomb juke route that Muffins is doing, you kind of end up going back through like where the big key chest is and Stalfos basement anyway. So it saves like even more redundant movement than in normal rando. Muffins? Okay. Uh-oh. Something went wrong. That sucks. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like he did it right, but he ended up getting stuck in the wall. So there was probably like a incorrect directional input at some point, but I'm not really sure where that would have been. That's too bad. Okay, so Vinter is in Fire right now. He's in Eastern State, though. Pretty interesting that he's here right now. I wouldn't have thought to do this. And so he has the Eastern Big Key, so he can open big key doors in the big chest if he wants. He's not going to be able to get to the boss. There's a sword. We finally have a sword, and it was in Misery Mire. Is that dupable? Definitely dupable. Is it dupable for him right now? I don't think so, because I don't think he has a potion. Oh, he has a green, okay. Well, I guess the sword could be duped, but not in a way that's convenient at all, because he can't... Like, he's technically in Eastern state, so if he used the mirror, he'd go back to the start of the dungeon. He's thinking about what he wants to do. Seems unsure. Muffins is going to Thieves Town. This is a really useful setup he's doing here with the bomb and select buffering to a certain frame. Oh no, he missed it though. He's gonna hard reset to get his potion back. So what Muffins was doing is a YBA to Thieves Town. He needs to drink the potion on the same screen as the same frame as a screen transition. The problem is that specific door that he was going in is it's what we call a deep door, so it's really hard to tell where you are in the door. So he was using a bomb as a visual cue to tell him like how long he needed to walk. He's gonna try it again. Anyway, Vinter walked out of Mire. We see that the Mire medallion actually is Quake after all, and it's kind of hilarious that this is working out this way because he needed that sword that he just found in Mire to be able to use Quake anyway. So that's pretty funny. Having the Mire medallion makes beating Mire way simpler. It's still not easy without Samaria, but it's going to be a heck of a lot easier than it would have been if the Mire medallion was Bombos or Ether. I'm not sure what's going on with Muffins right now. I think he missed his YBA again and hard reset, but now his console like disconnected or something. Okay, okay, I'm not totally sure what happened with Muffins, but I think he's back. I don't think he lost any progress. Vinter's gonna beat Desert next using his green potion. He has the Desert Big Key, but doesn't have a fire source. So he won't be able to use the traditional way of getting to land mode, but he can do a spin YBA with his sword and his green potion. That'll get the job done. So that was actually pretty good timing on the sword, because he could just mirror after Mire. You can't do a spin YBA without a sword, so this is just convenient timing for him, I guess. Muffins is going to go to the Dark World. He's probably going to Skull. He can beat Skull. Actually, he can't beat Skull because he doesn't have a sword. But he can do stuff in Skull. Or he could like go to Village of Outcast or something. We'll see what he wants to do. And here's the spin YB from Vinter. And he got it. Nicely done. Muffins is having some trouble here with the bunny clip. He got this really quickly earlier when he was going to GT. It seems like he's struggling a little bit more this time. It's pretty much the same trick, just a couple extra frames of movement at the end when you're doing this one versus GT. There's a big key on Bumper Ledge. Okay. Oh, this is cool. I never thought to do this before. I guess you can just do this. So Muffins is, he wants the big key. And there's a really horrible way you can get this, just like by doing a certain bunny clip that takes forever, and I don't remember how to do it because I hate it. But he just decided to use the mirror and set up a portal in the spot where he can do a normal teleport with boots, and then just did the setup in the light world instead. It's a good idea. I feel like normally we see that method used for like other teleports, but I don't know the last time I've seen anyone do it for that specific situation, so that was cool. Anyway, when he got the big key from Bumper Ledge, they gave him Super Bunny state. So then what he did was a teleport to get back on the ground as a Super Bunny. Because if he just jumped off the ledge normally, he would not be Super Bunny anymore. And then he pulled a tree. So now he is real Link. And he will still be real Link until he goes in an entrance somewhere. So I guess what he's going to do right now is just like run around the world and open things with bombs and do whatever he can that like Super Bunny can't normally accomplish. And then later he can retrace his steps and just use like normal mirror Super Bunny strats to get like brewery and sea house and all that stuff. And Muffins discovers that he has the Meyer medallion, which is great. Vinter's doing the bomb setup from earlier, and he gets it, so he's going to Thieves Town. Another invisible item incoming. Those are silvers. I know that one. That's our second invisible bow in this race. So that's really handy. We get a book from Muffins on Dig Game. He's just really doing everything he can with this Link state that he earned. So it looks like he's going to go back to Village of Outcasts next, and he'll probably start actually going into entrances now that he no longer needs his Link state on the overworld. Or maybe not. Oh, yeah, he's going in. Okay, Vinter with the LST blind. He gets the funny-looking slow one. This is a trick to fight blind while keeping the door open. He timed it a little bit late, which made the animation take a lot longer than it normally does, but it's fine. The door's still open. This is important because when he beats this boss, because he's in cave state, prize is not going to drop. So he needs the door to stay open so he can leave the room and continue his progress, otherwise he'd be stuck. And he got the Turtle Rock big key. That's a pretty useful big key. Muffins is collecting all this stuff by using Mirror Super Bunny. There's the hook shot at the front of Thieves Town. The hookshot is one of the most powerful items in No Logic because of hook pushing. And we can sort of hook push, but not very easily. We really need like a lamp or something to make hook pushing good right now. But in theory, Vinter can do it. He would have to use his mushroom, most likely, to set his index, which is really, really annoying. Maybe it's not annoying, but it's really slow. Very inconvenient. Muffins is giving us our first look at Skullwoods. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have a sword, so he can't actually beat the boss. So, this feels like, for the most part, things have been going a lot better for Vinter. There have been a lot of like micro things that have gone a lot better for Vinter, I would say. Fewer shambles. But the fact that Muffins has this fire rod is probably more important than all those other things combined. It's hard to say because we don't know where the other fire rod is. But it's really hard to imagine Vinter going back to Pod Dark Maze, like, ever. So it's really hard to say who is actually more likely to win this race at the moment. I really don't know. Okay, Muffins is gonna finish the front of Skull. He only did map test earlier. Hopefully for his sake there's just a sword here and then he can go beat Mothilo. Or King of Samaria also would get the job done actually. Vinter's buying another red potion. Vinter's gone to so many different shops to buy potions. It's really interesting. That was like at least the 4th different place he's gone to buy a potion. It can be hard to remember sometimes, like, that shop exists. Especially because you need the hammer to get in there. Most of the time you won't have it anyway. Okay, Muffins is going into Skull. He's just doing what he can do. Whoa, what the heck just happened to Vinter? Just did an up teleport somehow with hook speed, I think. It looked funny. I think he was trying to do the like really fast clip through that slope and then somehow he accidentally up teleported. Bottle number 3 for Vinter. Once you get the 3rd bottle, that's kind of like your safety net, I feel like. Having 2 bottles opens up a lot more like potential than just having 1. Oh my god, there's a sword up head. It's amazing. The 3rd bottle, like, compared to having 2 bottles, I think is more just like for safety in case you mess up a YBA. You can have a backup. I don't think having 3 bottles is that like practically different than 2, like assuming you're really good at YBAs. Like I know there's a couple things where you specifically need 3 bottles, but they're very niche. Alright, Muffin's going back to Thieves. Let's see if he can get it this time. Vinter... Oh, wait, Vinter got the Moon Pearl somewhere. I didn't see that. Was that in Thieves Town? Oh, right, it was in... Oh, yeah, I did see that. Okay. Moon Pearl's in Hera. I completely forgot about that. Muffins remembered to dash on grid into this door, otherwise you get stuck, which is really annoying. Oh, Muffins never opened the attic, did he? I guess not. Oh, he did. He just wanted to open the door first, just in case he messes up LSD blind, I guess. Or... Wait, oh, he can't actually fight blind. I can't believe that. He doesn't have an item that hurts blind. That's amazing. This is a very nice text box on the screen. Okay, that's a smart move, because now that the boss has been brought into that room, she'll still be there when he comes back. Obviously he would love to be able to fight right now, but sadly he can't. Okay, so Vinter has Bombos. He can actually beat Ice. And he has a sword. That's also important. having some trouble with Ice Pal's bomb jump. This is a very relatable thing where you play all this no logic and you learn like dozens and dozens and dozens of different setups and tricks and stuff, and then suddenly you have to do like one of the most common tricks just in glitchless rando, and you start to shamble it a little bit. So relatable. I don't think we know if ice is a pendant or crystal yet. Yeah, Muffins can actually fight Landmo just the normal way, because he has the big key and a fire source, and silvers. He's a bit behind on the crystal count. This will be his second. I guess he's not that far behind. Especially if this is actually a pendant in ice for Vinter. Vinter still has to beat Eastern, which I'm a little bit surprised that hasn't happened yet. But, like, at this point, maybe he's hoping he gets, like, Samaria hook pushing or something so he can get to Armos faster. Because he's done everything else in Eastern, I think. Maybe not big key chest, but he did everything up to big chest, for sure. So Armos is kind of a one-off for him. This boss fight's actually gonna suck a lot. He's on red mail, so that's good. But he doesn't have much health, and he's gonna have to use hammer strats for most of the fight. And he did get a fourth bottle somewhere. I missed that one. He has every bottle in the game. Uh-oh. Okay, he's got a red. Okay, well now he should be fine. He has a ton of health with red mail. Muffins is going for... what is this called? This crazy trick? Ghostbuster? No, that's not it. Blockbuster? Okay, so I forget how this works exactly, but he's gonna go to checkerboard, and he'll also be able to check Hammerpeg Cave by writing an invisible block. Oh, it is a pendant in ice. Okay, so that confirms that Vinter needs a fire rod to beat the game. And I'm not totally sure what happened with Muffins, but the blockbuster thing didn't happen. Muffins is ledge pogging. This is a trick to set his index with Mushroom. Basically the idea being he has like a one-time chance at a hook push in his future. I think he does have the hook shot, right? It's not on the tracker, but I'm pretty sure he has it. Since I was in front of Thieves, unless I missed... yeah, he has it, okay. Oh, he's gonna try to hook push to Turtle Rock in the dark. This is a pretty ballsy move. Hook pushing is already hard. Okay, so he got the stuck hook. That's the hard part. So now he needs to throw his boomerang up and left. I think he might have already done that. Okay, well now he definitely did it. And then he just has to put down 2 bombs and then 2 something else, like maybe an arrow and a, I don't know, shot or something, or boots dust, and then uses hook shot. He's through the hard part. So 2 bombs, 1 arrow. Oh, arrow on the wall, I don't know if that works. Yeah, I think that might have messed things up. The stuck hook is still there, that's good. Yeah, someone can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure putting arrows in the wall just makes releasing the stuck hook not possible. I think that's what's going wrong here. Which is a shame because he actually got the stuck hook in the first place, which is pretty awesome, and you can't see what's happening. So he was really close there. I think he needed to do like 2 bombs and then shoot an arrow in the air and then do like boots dust or something. I think that could have got the job done. Muffins can't even kill Moldorm yet. Oh man, this is so tragic. Because he's... I mean, the sword in Mire is very hard to find, but he should have the hammer. That's the real tragedy here, because it was in the one chest in Paradox where he died that he's never going to go back to. But Muffins does have the Moon Pearl now, so Dark World navigation is way easier all of a sudden. Okay, so I think Vinter is... he went to Potion Shop to prepare for Vitreous. We don't have Samaria, so we can't do the like... we can't push the switch that you normally use Samaria for. So I think the plan here is he's going to do the double YBA through Castle Tower to get to Vitreous. In theory, he could also hook push past that Samaria requirement, but I don't think he's set his index, and it's also probably less reliable with this equipment. Muffins finally got his hammer. I'm sure he is really, really happy about that being there. Although, to be honest, it hasn't really been that big of a deal that he hasn't had it. Like, it's annoying that he couldn't have killed Moldorm when he was in Hera. He could have also used the hammer to kill Blind. I think those are the big issues. I think this is our first look at the stuff in Hookshot Cave, though, besides that first chest with flippers. Uh-oh. Vinter had to mirror. He has enough potions that he can try this again, though. This is kind of what I was saying earlier about having a third, and by extension, a fourth bottle. It gives you a second chance for this kind of stuff. I think what happened was he got the YBA that he needed, but he moved either too far or not far enough. I think too far out of the door before doing the screen transition. He's gonna try again. Muffins is in Turtle Rock. This is the first time we've seen this. So I believe you need to move either 2 or 3 pixels to the right after hitting the YBA here. So that was probably 1 pixel, and that was probably another 2. Doesn't matter if it was 2 or 1, but so he got through. He remembered he needs a key. Or, well, I don't know if he remembered or not, but he does have the key that he needs. And now we have to do a green spin YBA to get to Vitreous. Nicely done. All right, that's crystal number 3 for Vinter. This is a really quite brutal seed. And oh, did we see the fire rod somewhere? I missed that. The other fire rod? Oh, the Moldorm's giving Vinter a hard time. At long last, Moldorm will be slain. GG. Another crystal for Vinter. Okay, so Vinter's fire rod is on Laser Bridge. I think he might be going there right now. What is this setup? Whoa. Is this a thing? That's awesome. Bonking off the volcano thing to get the right height? I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool. Okay, I think this is Laser Bridge from Vinter. Yeah, he's gonna wrap to Laser Bridge. So he's gonna find his fire rod. Not actually in go mode because he needs another sword. We've only seen one sword between everybody. Is it possible for him to go back and still dupe it? Yes. He could go back and dupe it. I wonder if he will. It should actually be pretty easy to dupe, because he should just be able to do like a super tile YBA from the southern room, and then use the mirror, and then go back and open the chest. Will he do that? I don't know, but that's what I would do. Okay, so we're in dupe mode. Vinter, I think he's thinking about right now if he can actually just do Trinex, and I don't think he can. Because he doesn't have potions on him, and he doesn't have Samaria. And he doesn't want to hover the entire Turtle Rock gap. Muffins is hovering Ice Pal's Bomb Jump. Crazy man. Is it possible to get to Moth no sword? Yes, but we need Samaria, and no one has found that yet. Maybe there's another way. But I'm not aware of any other way. So Vinter's just gonna go beat Skull, I think. Not that he has his Fire Rod. Yeah, he did skip the big key that was on Bumper Ledge. Makes sense, given which big keys he's missing. Because the only dungeons he's supposed to beat are Skull, where the big key is irrelevant. And he has the big keys for Eastern and Turtle Rock, so it makes sense that he would skip it. So I wonder if he has a plan for a potential sword dupe. He has the Pearl and Hammer and Glove, so like getting to Meyer is not actually that hard. Could be a lot worse for duping that sword. He definitely doesn't need anything else. Vinter's sword was in the Meyer lobby chest, or hub chest, or whatever we call it. So someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you could just super tile YBA into, like, from the room below, since there's no chest on that entire super tile. It doesn't even matter if he's opened things elsewhere in the dungeon. Does Muffins have a potion? Okay, he does. Good. Poor Muffins. He's been playing the Seed this entire time with no sword. Unfortunately, he hit the Cold Stare Puffs to the right, so his Fire Rod shots were not really doing any splash damage. Still got the fight done pretty quickly, though. Where are swords? The only sword we know of is Meyer lobby. That's it. Crystal number 5 for Vinter. Oh, and Ped. Actually, I forgot about that. We know Ped has a sword. I don't think we're gonna... Actually, are we gonna see Ped? Maybe we are gonna see Ped. Muffins might be going to Swamp right now. And he has the other 2 pendants. Does he have this? He does have the Swamp Small, so he can just do this like vanilla if he wants. So, I guess Muffins could just like, if he just wanted the pendant, he could like go to Hera and get it. Like do Swamp to Hera and get the pendant. He knows the sword is there. The problem is you can't dupe Ped, and he needs another sword anyway, so I assume he's just gonna full clear this normally and get the pendant. Oh, there's a sword here. Okay. Now he has options. Do you just rush the pendant? Is getting the pendant and pulling Ped even faster than if he just decided to tree? Yeah, it's probably faster than tree warping. Is it? I don't know, actually. He could also just tree warp that sword. He'd have to pull the dam again, though, which is annoying. Okay, he's just gonna go to Hera and get the pendant. That's the plan. He still has to kill Moldorm. Which is funny. He's gonna kill Moldorm to get his pendant, and then he's gonna go back to get the Moldorm prize on the second trip. Okay, so that's gonna be go mode for Muffins. I think. He should be able to get every crystal with this equipment. Vinter has already been in go mode if we assume that he has a plan to dupe his sword. Otherwise, I feel like Swamp would probably be one of the first places he goes to search for a sword, because it's fairly dense and we've kind of done like everything else in the game. Feels like. Okay, that's the third pendant for Muffins. I can't remember the last time I've seen someone pull Ped and no logic. I don't know if I've ever seen it, to be honest. Vinter's on 6 crystals. Muffins is way behind on crystals. You can actually route in Ped with doing Skullwoods, which is pretty awesome. It's gonna do another ledge pog here. So he has some plan to hook push in the future, I guess. Vinter is going to swamp, so he's going to get his go mode sword very soon. And then for him, it's just a matter of beating Turtle Rock and then Agatu and Ganon. There's go mode for Vinter. Just thinking about how he wants to handle this. And it makes sense he hasn't killed Trinex yet. Like, in theory, Trinex could have had his go mode sword, sure, but it makes sense to put it off. Just assume it doesn't have your go mode so that you can route it into Aga 2 at the end once you're in go mode. Save some time that way. Although, is he actually going to be able to do Aga 2 after Trinex? Yeah, I guess so. You'll have to mirror because the Turtle Rock entrance is closed, and then go in the Dark World. Again, through the peg puzzle. Oh no, the heart. Vinter, so he fell down the pit the first time because he needs damage to drink a red potion here, or blue or whatever it is. And then he picked up another heart in accident, so he had to hurt himself again. That's really funny. Missed the YBA there, so he had to mirror back to the start, but he didn't drink his potion, so that's good. Another missed YBA. Missing this first YBA is not so bad, as long as you don't lose the potion. Oh, he got a fairy, no. If he starts getting this first one, but missing the second one, then he's gonna have problems, or he's gonna run out of potions. Okay, there's the first YBA. Now he needs to walk across his bridge very carefully, because you can't actually see where it is. Nicely done. One more YBA and we're done. Yep, there we go. And there's Muffins' go mode sword. This really did not look like a very fun seed to play for these guys. Just absolutely awful swords. So now Vinter just needs to do something to get to Aga 2. I don't know if he has a potion on him still. He probably does. Nice map of this dungeon. That's Crystal 5 for Muffins. Where's Richard going? I guess he's going to open this. For a potential tempered. Was that the Thieves big on blind? That was the Turtle Rock big on blind. Muffins is jumping around like a bunny rabbit on these ledges. There we go. That was a nice last fireball there from Vinter. That was a tough angle. This Ganon fight, at least these first two phases, are really going to suck for Vinter, because he doesn't have Samaria, he doesn't have Tempered. Ganon's in a good spot though, and he got the right pixel though, so this is actually way better than it could have been. Is he going to get the 1 cycle? I'm not going to go for it, but a 2 cycle with no Samaria on Master Sword is just fine. In fact, I would say that's more than fine. That's better than what you'd expect to get. He's going for the hover. I'm kind of surprised he's taking this route, because he does have the Mire big. He could have just like come from the other way and hookshot across. I guess this is probably faster, in theory. Alright, get your GGs in chat for Vinter. You'll be finishing the race in first place with an official time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 47 seconds. A hard-fought victory. And it looks like Muffins has decided to forfeit. See if our runners want to join us for a little chat about this awesome seed. We're joined by Muffins, second place finisher today. GG Muffins.
GG's.
How are you feeling?
What a seed, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the Moldorms in this seed. I want to cry.
Yeah, that was kind of tragic. Spiral Cave turned out not to matter. Paradox, yeah, with how horrible the swords were, that hammer would have been nice.
Yeah.
Like the hour earlier that you were supposed to have had it, but this is how it goes.
Just double tapped the bomb, and then yeah, it re-hit the peaks, and then I was completely boned from that point on.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Looks like Vinter is on the way.
Yeah, and I was kind of muttering to myself constantly, like, I have no melee, I have no melee, I have no melee. I kept wanting to go to Thieves, but then I didn't want to go with no melee, no way to kill blind. Like, I had nothing. Like, no burner, no Samara, no nothing.
Yeah. We're not joined by Vinter. Today's winner, GG Vinter.
Yo,
GG's.
GG Muffin, man, what a seed.
We were just talking
for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, tell me about it. We were just talking about the fact that very early on I went to Paradox and the Moldorms killed me before I got my hammer, and I didn't go back for an hour.
Damn. Yeah, that was my only good weapon for a long time.
Yeah.
Like for an hour or something. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the swords were garbage. Did we my god, there's one on Ted. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's not many no logic seeds where you see someone pull heads.
No,
Which
I didn't
source
know
did you get?
if you. I got like the Meyer lobby chest was my first one. I didn't know if I could dupe that one. And my go mode was the second sword in the swamp lobby.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about the Meyer sword being difficult. It should be possible if you did it just like a north super tile YBA into that room.
Alright.
We were wondering if you were going to do that, since it was pretty easy to get back to Meyer by the end of the game. At least.
So just in the Meyer 2 room, I guess. Clear it
Yeah.
up. And...
Yeah, so there's no chest there. It's fine.
Yeah, I should have done that then probably. Duping is actually really strong in these kind of seeds for sure.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, you had that sword really early. Muffins, though, found the other fire rod way before
Where
you
was
did
that?
in Pod Dark Maze.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I didn't
so-
want to do that. No sword, no lamb, no nothing. I hate
Yeah,
that.
so most of this
It's
race
a long
was
time.
one of you having the fire rod and one of you having a sword, and the other one was just completely suffering trying to find the other thing.
Oh my god.
Jesus. And then
Yeah.
I set index twice for some pushes, and I was trying the push to laser bridge in the dark, and I got the stuck hook, and I just didn't release it properly. I was so sad. That was before I got my moon pearl, not long afterwards, though, of course.
Yeah, I think the issue there was you were trying to release it with arrows in the wall,
Yeah,
which I don't think works.
it's like
Or
32
if there's a way to make
degrees,
it work, I don't know how.
Yeah, it's so hot, my brain isn't working.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there were plenty of other reasons to be for your brain not to be working by that point anyway, because a lot of things kind of went wrong.
When I got my final potion refill and just bought 4 reds, I was like, screw that. I'm just gonna turn into mushroom at this point. I'm not gonna believe that it's gonna help me. I also had a super late red meringue. I don't remember where it was, but yeah, I don't know if I could have set any index. Hook also felt super late, which felt bad. I thought that might lead you to the moon pro really early.
I had no
If
way.
you have the hammer? Yeah, if you have the hammer?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about going to Thieves Town. Yeah, that would have been a much smoother route, I think. Still no sword, I guess, but... At least you get an early moon pearl.
You also got Burna somewhere that Muffins never found, so that wasn't even an option for
come
Muffins'
on.
blind fight.
Yeah, that was
It was a good
much
idea,
later,
though.
I think.
Good idea to bring the maiden to the boss room first, though. And just come back later. I liked that. I wouldn't have thought to do
Yeah.
that.
I was really just hoping I'd find some melee weapons there, but obviously nothing. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, I may as well grab her and take her along with me. And then it's an easy one when I come back.
Oh, no, I really lucked out with the sword, I think, because I was actually planning to do Meyer in the Eastern State. When I realized, wait, you can't do the last YVA, you need a sword for that. So that was a problem. But then I was like, okay, let's just loot the chests in here, and I got really lucky there. But then I still didn't have a green potion with me, so it didn't matter at that point. I just exited in the front, and with the green potion I did... no, I didn't have a red potion, I think. I only had a green, and with the green I did desert, and it was a weird route. That was the weirdest route I've ever taken, I think.
Yeah, I failed like the YBA from Uncle to Thieves, I think 3 times, and I just gave up in the end. And then I DMD'd and got my Herabig and used it to get myself Link State. So then I did a bunch of Dark Ward stuff. And again, was like, I really want a weapon, so I go to Skull hoping I can find a weapon, but I got nothing. I got no Samaria, no sword. I can't even go kill Moss.
Oh, and the reason you just showed on stream was I went back to Hookshot Cave much later. Because I know you're a hover god, and I went there super early without... I was really happy about the flippers too, because I also can't really do the lobby clip in Swamp. And obviously, it's a pendant. And yeah.
Yeah, and swords are just so trash. Like I didn't know Thieves, or I still didn't know Thieves, Ice, and TR at some point, and so I was like, but the only one of these I can actually complete and Swamp was ice. So I went to ice, which was my the last pendant, and I was like, well,
Yeah,
damn it!
same.
Like I know that there's a sword on Ped, so I was like, I'm just gonna go clear swamp. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I'm gonna go clear swamp, and I'll get at least one sword. And then I got the sword in the entrance, and then just YBA to hero for my green pendant.
Okay, I guess that's not too bad then.
No, I was like, do I keep going through because I could do with some other stuff? But I was like, the
Yeah.
2 swords, I had 4 bottles at that point. I was like, I can finish
Yes.
the game now.
Oh man, yeah, I got the bombos from Fat Fairy actually. That was my first strong fire source. Well, my first fire
nice.
source in general, I think. Yeah, obviously no lamp. Yeah, that was rough.
It was a seed, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was one of those seeds.
This was game 1, right?
Yeah,
that was game
crazy.
1.
Okay. Do we know when game 2 is?
Not yet. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe at the start of next week. It's super hot currently here, and
Yeah, and like it's 32 today, and tomorrow it's 38 here, and that lasts until the end of the week.
Yeah.
So next week, when it's actually cooler and I can think, would be nice.
Yikes.
I think Monday
I
or
want a break
Tuesday.
after this one.
Yeah, it's way too hot.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday sounds good.
Nice.
All right. Hopefully that seed will be a little more generous with the weapons for you guys, because this one, it was really fun to watch, but if I was playing this, I would have been PO'd the whole time, that's for sure. But yeah, we have a lot of races today coming up. I'm kind of shocked how many there are on a Tuesday, but So versus Doomtap is going to be happening in about 20 minutes on this channel. Possibly doubleheader, depending on the result of that one. And we also have 3 more races tonight. After that, there's JD Silvergun versus Gabriel J. Campos and Leaf vs. Breadcoon, both at 8 o'clock on Speed Gaming 2 and 3. And we have Ralkin versus Chex Human at 10 o'clock. It's a huge amount of no logic today, which is awesome to see. You guys have anything else you want to share before we sign off?
No, thanks for doing comms, and thanks Holy Smoke for tracking. Thanks Be Gaming for hosting, and thanks Vinter for racing this atrocious seed.
Yeah, thank you too, Muffins. I think that's all. I'll just join in and say the same things. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. All right. Take it easy, everybody. Stay tuned for another race in 18 minutes.